Well, my name's Cath Lloyd, and I'm a religious sister of the Sacred Heart, and I'm what they call the provincial, which is a leader. We're organised administratively into provinces, and we have a leader and a team, and the leader's known as a provincial, and I'm the provincial of the province of England and Wales. Mabel Digby was an English woman. She was the 5th Superior General of the Society. The Superior General is what we call our international leader. And she was the first English woman to be Superior General, but she was the 5th after Sophie Barra, who was the person who actually began the society. And at the time of the story we're talking about in regard to the organ, she was living in France, and she was leader of the congregation. And she oversaw the evacuation of all the sisters from France, because the French government had decided that they were going to move towards secularisation. So they wanted to expel all the congregations, particularly those that focused on education. And so she, in response to that, organised the evacuation of all our possessions and assets, because she was determined that the French government wasn't going to get their hands on them. But she also had to find homes for about 2,500 French sisters, almost overnight. And she was a very shrewd woman, a very organised lady, and she turned a crisis into an opportunity, because on her desk were requests for foundations for schools and convents all around the world. And so she sent all those sisters off to different parts of the world to set up new convents and schools. And that's why today we're so very international, because places like Japan, Egypt, they all trace their beginnings back to the time of the expulsions from France. And so she was a very canny character, as we'd say in my part of the world. You know, she was practical, she was shrewd, and she showed very strong leadership at a time of crisis. The reason of telling you that part of the story was because one of the things that she organised was the movement of the organ, the Lorraine organ, from France to Hammersmith. And I think, if my memory's correct, in 1904, the organ was dismantled bit by bit by bit and reassembled here in Hammersmith. But she also, around this school is evidence of the same movement of possessions. So the statue, the Sacred Heart statue here, which is iconic in all the schools and universities of the Sacred Heart. This particular one came from our school in Lille. And she was determined that the French authorities wouldn't get their hands on it, so she had it shipped over here. I think, if I'm correct, the altar in the Lady Chapel, in the big chapel, came from the school at Beauvais. So there are evidence of this all around this particular school. I don't know the details of the actual journey, but I know it was a major operation, and it wasn't just to England, it was all over the world. So if you go around the society now and you go to visit particularly the older houses, you will find all sorts of things. You'll find clocks, you'll find dressers, you'll find tables, and they all had been sent from France in those years of 1902, 1903, 1904. So it must have been a major operation, and it would be interesting to go back and look at the logbooks and see how it was actually done. It's a fantastic find. I've been around this school, associated it for about 30 years now, and I've spent a lot of time in that chapel, and I've just seen an organ, and it's always seemed to me a sadness that there haven't been many people able to play it. When I have heard it played, it's been a beautiful sound. But to then discover that it's this very rare artefact is actually quite, is very moving. And when you actually then also uncover the story of how it came to be here and the sacrifices that were made by the people to get it here, I think it leaves me feeling we are bound in a way to honour their memory by having it restored and used, and that beautiful sound can be shared with as many people as possible. So that gives me a sort of determination to work with the school to make that happen.